Hey, how's it going? It's Sam Frost here, back with some more digital marketing advice. Now, today's quick tip is when you're creating content for your websites, whether it's blog posts or articles or new pages or whatever, don't just rely on people clicking within the navigation to find other bits of content on your site. Go and internally link to other relevant pieces of content. So let's say you've got a article you're writing for your website or a blog post that you're writing that's answering a specific question because you want to try and rank for that keyword. What you then want to do is actually find other pieces of content that are already on your site that are relevant and kind of add additional context or answer another related question. And within the sort of body of that article or blog post itself, select a relevant keyword or put in a relevant call to action. So, are you interested in learning more about X? Read here, and get people to click through to those other pages on your site. So this has two benefits. One benefit is that it actually sort of retains user interest within your site for longer. So in my experience, the more you can tell your site visitors what it is you want them to do, the more effectively they do it. Whereas if you kind of leave people to their own devices to go and work things out for themselves, it often doesn't work quite so well, and people will kind of interact with that one page and then they might click away and leave or whatever it might be. But if you actually sort of within the article content or the blog post content tell people this is the next step I want you to take, I want you to read this, and you retain user interest, what you'll tend to find is that your conversion rate on your website lifts quite substantially. And through just about every single website I've ever had any dealing with, whether it's in-house or as a consultant or whatever, if you go and look at conversion stats broken down by the sort of number of pages that are being visited on average, the more pages a user visits, the more likely they are to convert. So retaining user interest within your site is a great thing to do. Just relying on the navigation menu on your site is not the best way to do that. Actually putting links to other relevant pieces of content that add context or answer related questions or provide a sort of relevant product or service that is related to the main topic of your article or blog post, that's the way to do it, and do it within the content itself. The other advantage is sort of SEO advantage, so internal linking, this is called from an SEO perspective. That can also help Google to understand pretty much which pages are important on your site. So, if you have a specific page that's really, you 100% want to rank that page for a commercially valuable keyword, look at other long tail keywords that are related to that term or that keyword and create content that sort of answers those keywords or provides a solution, and then link all those new posts or those new articles on your site back to that pillar page, that primary page that you want to rank for that stronger keyword, or the one that might bring you in more revenue and more sort of valuable traffic. If you do this consistently, you'll tend to find that the rankings for those pillar pages, that are kind of focal point that are being linked to internally from other lower level pages, actually winds up sort of increasing the rankings, and it can work really nicely. It just basically helps Google to get a bit of a sense for what's important on the site. It's good practice, especially if you're doing internal linking using relevant keywords. So, if you are, say, running a dog training business and you want to rank in your local market for dog training advice as the keyword, and then you've got an article that's just about a specific area of dog training advice, so how to stop your dog from barking. You've got an article on how to stop your dog from barking, and then you might have an internal link within that article that says, do you want more dog training advice, which is then selected as the link to your key dog training advice page. Check out this link for more information. That's going to not only drive traffic back to your primary focus page, but also help Google to understand that that dog training advice pillar page or core page is in fact about that keyword, and that Google should take it more seriously. So long story short, there is no real disadvantage to internally linking your content rather than just relying on the navigation menu, which is the sort of easy and lazy way to do it. You should definitely look to do this. If you've got a website that's built on something like WordPress, you can also possibly look at using like a related posts or related content plugin. I don't like this as much as manually selecting relevant content, but it is something that you could consider as well, that sort of speeds the process up. But actually picking relevant pieces of content yourself is the better way to do it. But definitely go out and do this. It amazes me how often I see websites where news articles or blog posts or content pieces sort of exist in their own little world, and they don't link off to anything else that's relevant, not even products or services that the business provides that would be a relevant upsell. You're just missing a trick there, because you can keep people's interest for longer, you can retain your users' kind of awareness and focus, and then you can also send them on a journey where you want them to go to actually wind up inquiring or purchasing, and then there's also that SEO benefit as well. So as long as you're doing this sort of without going completely overboard and linking every single word in your article to another page on your site, which of course would be poor user experience, as long as you do it sort of where it makes sense, if you get what I mean, There's no real downside to this. It's a great step you can take to improve the quality of content on your website, to improve the performance of your site, both in terms of retaining user interest and converting people more effectively, and also in terms of improving your SEO. So yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. If you need any more advice, you can leave a comment below. Email me on info@samfrost.co.nz. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.